guys. So I mean, we've been a lot of topics we've been covering about the
Yeah,
SAs assaults that have been going
the
on
SA
around.
word that we
Yep,
don't say.
yes, that we can't physically say. It's been going on for a
Yeah.
lot of very powerful people, from Vince McMahon
Uh-huh.
to P Diddy that we
Oh, yeah.
discussed on the previous
And
video.
and we just made a video about that, and we also made a video about Vince McMahon as well. If you guys want to check those out, go ahead. They're on the channel.
Mhm. So now, guys, we are on a topic basis of one of the most recent controversies. Well, not controversy, but it's been talked about a lot on the internet lately. So a few weeks ago, a few days ago, I don't know the exact date, but a documentary was released by Discovery, and it's called Quiet on Set: The
Yeah.
Dark Side of Kids TV. It covers, basically, long story short, it covers about the controversy behind Nickelodeon's writer and producer. And as you already know, no introductions needed. It's already showing there for you, by the name of Dan Schneider. So Dan
Yeah,
Schneider
man. What a
left in.
piece of crap.
So he left in 2018 after an internal investigation found that he was verbally abusive to the members. If you haven't watched the documentary, it's available on Discovery. It's really interesting to cover up about Dan Schneider. But basically, a lot of allegations were made for Schneider, including making inappropriate and sexual jokes on set. And guys, let me just tell you this. Let me just tell you. Inappropriate and sexual jokes on set. Keep in mind, Nickelodeon is for kids.
Yeah.
And he's making these statements.
We grew up watching these shows. We grew
Oh.
up watching these shows.
100%. 100%.
Dude, I realized not only was just on set, but like in the shows itself too. I saw a few clips, and looking back at it, as a kid, you can't really see it, right? But when you get much older, it becomes a lot more clear.
Exactly. So in the documentary, it contains a lot of things that Dan Schneider did for during his time in Nickelodeon. A lot of people who used to work in Nickelodeon, kids mostly, who used to be kids who now grown adults back in the 90s, he was very, very abusive to certain staff members, including writers, female writers more specifically. Whenever somebody makes an opinion of him in a negative light, or like just a critical feedback, he takes offense to it, and he even like threatens to fire them. So Nickelodeon obviously wasn't aware of this, because basically Nickelodeon, it's somewhat of Nickelodeon's fault, because they didn't really do much investigation for this matter.
They didn't monitor it
Because this guy is Nickelodeon's golden child. He made a lot of great shows. He made Drake and Josh. He was a producer for iCarly. He was a producer for Victorious, and a lot of shows, including back in the 90s, called All That. All That. I didn't really reach the pinnacle of the 90s, because I was kind of late, but I did watch a lot of those Nickelodeon shows under Dan Schneider, and a lot of accusations were made for him. People making their staff work overtime. He gets very verbally abusive to them, making them work too much. Again, sexual jokes, and again being inappropriate towards kids.
A lot of touching as well, and these contests about send fee pics and stuff like.
Yes, and like if you haven't watched the documentary, like there was a lot of scenes where it involves feet, for even including kids. It's really not appropriate. Now that I've watched the documentary, it's very interesting, and also a lot of comments about Schneider allegedly. Well, it's probably true that he was asking for massage from kids. So. Including Amanda, one of them is apparently Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes. Where she was 13, she was Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider really supported Amanda Bynes back in the 90s. Made her who she is, what she is now, and right now it's been a very, very sensitive situation. Again, guys, these are kids. This is different now.
They shouldn't be subjugated to any of this.
Exactly, and these are kids, and the fact that you're making inappropriate jokes in front of them, and in a company that is aimed toward demographics, which is children.
Kids. Yeah,
it's
we grew up watching this stuff.
Exactly, and now that this document came out, a lot of perspective came about. Like, to be honest, I cannot see the way the show it is now before.
Yeah,
Now that all of these came into light. Um, he did say he did responded to the documentary. He said he was very regretful for it. It was very difficult for him. He felt embarrassing and he showed regretful behavior. So
bro.
again, he said in his quote, "I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology." He also made
Oh my god.
apologies to the inappropriate jokes he made in the writers' room, saying it was wrong. So again, in the docuseries as well, another thing that we do need to cover in this documentary is Drake Bell. So
Yeah,
Drake Bell
yeah.
is a victim of a sexual abuse by a former dialogue coach named Brian Peck. Again, by the way, no relation to Josh Peck whatsoever. They are not related. I want to clear that out first because a lot of people are saying, is that Josh Peck's dad? No, it
Yo,
is not.
and what we're about to talk about right here about this this person right here, Brian Peck, was it?
Mhm.
Bro, it pisses me off so much. But continue,
Mhm.
continue. Sorry.
So Brian Peck used to work for Nickelodeon as well. He was sentenced to 16 months in prison in 2004 after pleading no contest of two charges of child abuse. So Ms. Schneider said that it was the darkest part of his career after hearing about Drake Bell's incident. However, I mean, in the documentary, by the way, I just want to point out Dan Schneider also helped Drake Bell in a way. So after that, after discovering the essay that was made against him by Brian Peck, so Amanda Baines was invited to be on this documentary, but she said that she declined because she felt like all the accusations made towards Dan Schneider did not reflect on Amanda Bynes' personal history with Dan Schneider, so we wouldn't know. But however, there are people out there who felt that they were mistreated by Schneider, mistreated by the staff, the crew, by him because again, this was Nickelodeon's golden child for a time,
Yeah.
and it's been a very
Yeah.
and again that documentary shows everything. Again, I don't want to like put it into too much of a detail because again the documentary will show you everything,
It's
but
very sensitive. It's a
it
very
is a very
sensitive
sensitive topic.
situation that, you know, you just can't spill out. And it's a lot better for you guys to go watch for yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in this one here for us today, guys, among the Drake Bell was again essayed by Brian Peck. Again, no relation, as you guys see here, no relation whatsoever. So in this part of the documentary, this one is very sad because Drake Bell was at court, and allegedly a lot of people who worked with Brian Peck, also who Drake Bell knows at work at the Nickelodeon studios, they sided with Brian Peck, and there was like affidavits of like signing to be the testimonies that Brian Peck is not the person who who such thing. And again, I won't get into detail of what he did to Drake Bell, but I do feel bad and very sad about what happened to him
Yeah.
when he was young. And again, guys, if you're this should not be happening to kids. You
Not at
should
all.
at all. It is messed
It's
up.
disgusting. It's
It is
messed up.
disgusting.
And his apology, whatever apology he's given, it's not good enough, you know.
Hmm.
It's not
So
good enough.
So he was sentenced to again 16 months, but he has to be registered as a sex offender. And also, Brian Peck managed to actually work at Disney for a
Yeah.
time. He
Yeah.
actually hid
That's unbelievable.
yeah.
That does
Disney
not make sense. That's
Disney let him under his they found a loophole. He found a loophole and managed to work at Disney. But the good news thing, thankfully, he didn't work with the cat, like he didn't see the cast members fully. So I'm thankful for that. Thank God Zach and Cody or Dylan Cole Sprouse did
Yeah.
not this guy in person. That would be very, very upsetting. But eventually Disney found out about his crimes and they eventually let him go. So but thankfully he didn't like work in the in actual studio set. So in this manner of the docuseries, Nickelodeon, man, it's just like the fact that this happened under their watch, the fact that this was ignored for a long time, and the fact that
Yeah.
Dan Schneider was working for a long time like this, and Nickelodeon just turning a blind eye is just really unbelievable. Because now the shows that I love, I can't look at it differently. If you haven't seen it, by the way, the documentary, a lot of videos, including Ariana Grande when she was working at
Yeah.
Nickelodeon. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get into detail to that, but when she was younger, on the documentary, they included a video of her like doing a lot of
A lot of
supposedly
oh
jokes, but they're actually have a
no,
double meaning.
it's very disturbing. I even right before just when all of this started trending on social media, especially on Twitter, a few of those videos made it onto there, and I got to see it, right, and it was quite disturbing because first of
Mhm.
all, these are underage people. You're making do this type of stuff. It's just completely wrong. Even if Dan thought it was supposed to be a joke or whatever, it's just unacceptable. There's nothing acceptable about this situation whatsoever at all.
Exactly. That's why once you're in a powerful position, people will abuse that, man. It's
They
just
will.
like they will. And it's crazy that this still continues today. Since the Me Too movement, all of these people, like, they're getting taken down swiftly, and like all of their career is just like
Yeah. Yeah.
gone. Like, guys, like, look what happened to a lot of these people, Harvey Weinstein, to right now to where we are again, Brian Peck, P Diddy. It's
Vince
like,
McMahon.
yeah, Vince McMahon. Like, these type of stuff should not be tolerated at all. It
No.
is not.
No.
So I do believe, especially in a kids show with a demographic of kids, it's even worse. So I do believe there's a zero tolerance policy for that, like being that treating kids are mistreating them, even like child stars. We shouldn't be like taking advantage of them. We should not
Yeah.
at all. These are kids. These kids are trying to put food on the table with their families. These kids could be trying to work.
Those kids have parents. Imagine how those parents feel.
Exactly.
And
And
and I don't know if they ever told like their parents or anything, or the parents are just finding out right now. I can't imagine how they're feeling too, because if that was my kid in that situation and I found out about it,
I would be
oh,
furious, bro. I would
oh,
be furious. I would
mm,
be livid.
do
So
not, yeah,
again, this is something that this is something that this not should not be tolerated at all,
yeah,
like zero
at all.
tolerance. Because again, these kids are trying to live their life, trying to put food on the table. They're trying to be successful for their family. And again, Nickelodeon, man, this was a big L. I'll be honest. This was one of their biggest L's in their company
It's done for
history.
Nickelodeon, man.
It's done, man.
It is what it is now. I can't ever look at Nickelodeon the same way ever again. I'm not even too sure if Nickelodeon is still a thing. Uh
They are, but
they
just
are.
like, but now, like, it's a different, they're in a different direction, obviously. But will it be the same now after all of these? Like, I don't
It's
know,
a lot
man.
of damage control that has to be
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
A lot of damage
Like,
control.
I can't even watch iCarly anymore. I can't even watch Victorious. Like, I can't rewatch them. Like, because like
No,
now I'm thinking like, crap.
no,
Like, I
bro.
forgot this guy produced it. But however, I'm glad that Big Time Rush was not affected by this. So thank God, God bless. Fucking
Yeah.
love Big Time Rush. Anyway, but that's not the point. But what I'm saying here, guys, like, power can be anything, but once that's taken away from you, that's a whole different story. And this what happened to Diane Schneider and Brian Peck. And again, kids deserve better. Child stars deserve better. And hopefully we move on from this. We learn from this, and Nickelodeon. Hopefully they learn from this as well. They need to keep an eye. They need. There also, I want to advocate. There needs to be rules implemented for child
Yeah.
actors. They
Yeah.
need to be protected. Like, there has to be more. There has to be more. These kids need to be protected at all costs.
And
Whether they're on TV, whether they're working behind the scenes, even if
yeah.
they're extras, they have to be protected.
And I'll end it off on this, right? John pretty much covered the gist of all of it. Anything else that I had to say, but I'm very glad like we're in a time where a lot of people are officially getting called out when it comes to all of this stuff, right? And we are starting to see a lot of change and those people getting canceled, losing their positions and jobs and statuses over it. So, hey, I'm hoping that more people come out and tell their truth and everything because it's very important. And we need to establish that none of this is fine. And if you behave in any type of way, like Vince McMahon, Diddy, or Dan over here, you deserve every single backlash that you get. You deserve to lose your status, your position, and everything. You should not have another chance when it comes to those opportunities as well. But guys, yeah, thank you for watching. Let us know your thoughts when it comes to this whole situation in the comment section. We'll see you later. Yeah, make sure to leave a follow if you're new and like the video. Would really appreciate it very much, guys.